Are y'all ready? All right, here's the deal. Here's the deal. Since this is like a workshop thing, I'm just going to jump into it, all right? Everything I do at Audacious Conference this week has to deal with stories from the Bible. So I'm literally just pulling out stories from the Bible and just laying them on you and letting you see what you can learn from the people, what they went through then. So what they went through then can help us now. Got it? So everybody say, what happened then can save me now. Are y'all with me? Okay, say what happened then can save me now. So all we're going to do today, we're going to go to John chapter 11, and all we're going to do today is one story, just one story. When we're done, we can go and eat. Cool? So John chapter 11, verse number 1. Now here it is. Some of you may not have been with a black preacher, all right? I know y'all have all these white preachers, but I'm a black American preacher, all right? Which is a little different. I know you're like, ooh, I like that. I watch the Medea movies. All right, good. You're almost there then, all right? So you got to talk to your neighbor. You got to talk back to me, or people get hurt. All right. Because that's what we do in America. We threaten everybody. All right. John chapter 11. We're going to start reading in verse 1. Now a man named Lazarus was sick. He was from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. This Mary, whose brother Lazarus lay sick, was the same one who poured perfume on the Lord and wiped it with her hair. So the sisters sent word to Jesus. Stop right there. So Lazarus is sick, and his two sisters realize he's so sick, they need help. But they can't think of nobody better to send a message to than Jesus. So they had to write a note to Jesus. If you, on behalf of your best friend, had to write a note that would make Jesus do something for them, what would you say? That's pretty cool, isn't it? How would you write a note to save your friend's life? Y'all got it? Let's see what their note says. Verse number 4. When he heard this, okay, now verse 3. The sisters sent word to Jesus. And it said, Jesus, Lord, the one you love is sick. Everybody see it? It's on the screens. Lord, the one you love is sick. I probably wouldn't have went that way, all right? I would have said, Glenn is the man. He got 2 kids and a wife. You got to save him. Hello? But what they knew about Jesus is something we need to learn about him today. Everybody hit your neighbor and say, here it is. It's not what you can do for Jesus. It's what he already did for you. All right, never mind. All right. So y'all didn't get it, but that's okay. You'll get it before I'm done. So and if you're going to write a note, it's got to be compelling. You got to make dude, look at their note. Where's it at again? Throw it back up there. Look at their note. Lord, the one you love is sick. 7 words. You got to love me more than 7 words. But it's not how you write it. It's how you mean it. Your life isn't what you do. It's how you do it. Are y'all listening to me? See, I am not up here. I didn't come to England just so that you could say, ooh, Reggie's a great preacher. We're going to get to that in a minute, too. What you got to understand is there's some things in life that you have to do on your own, by yourself, no matter what anybody says, no matter if anybody goes with you. And this is one of those points right here where they just cut to the chase and get to it. They knew, Mary and Martha knew, it ain't what we can do for Jesus, it's what he will do for us. Even already, look, in the Bible already, you know they got a relationship with Jesus. You know he knows them and they know him. So all of a sudden now it's just down to the point of, Lord, the one you love is sick. Period. That's it. I kind of like that. I kind of like the way that's written. Because all the pressure's off you now. Did you just put it up there one more time? Y'all going, why is he doing that? The one you love. See, the only reason we're here is because he first loved us. He took all the pressure, all the hurt, all the pain, all the dying was on him. So all we got to do is live. Oh, touch your neighbor and say, that's deep, and he's only started. Y'all kind of quiet today. Y'all okay? All right. Am I doing all right? All right, good. So let's go on. Okay, look, I'm going to read that one more time. They sent a note, and the note said, Lord, the one you love is sick. Look at verse 4. When he heard this, Jesus said, this sickness will not end in death. No, it is God's glory so that God's Son may be glorified through it. I like that. He's talking about himself in the third person. Verse 5, I love this. You ready? Look at verse 5. Now, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. Period. Isn't that awesome? Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus. He loved them. And the Bible says he loves you. If you're going to get anything out of this entire week, get this. Before you knew him, he loved you. Before you breathed, he loved you. Before you were made, he loved you. The bottom line, he loved you. That's why Mary and Martha wrote, hey, the one you love is sick. What you gonna do? Are y'all listening to me? See, this puts everything in perspective. Your past, your hurt, your shame, your pain, whatever sin you've ever committed, all that falls in line because he loved you. He knew what you were going to do, and he loved you anyway. Somebody touch your neighbor and say, he loved you. Y'all, we in trouble because we're only on verse 5, and we got to go all the way to 48. But trust me, it's all good. Verse 6. So when he heard that Lazarus was sick, he stayed where he was 2 more days. Stop right there. So we just said that he loved them, right? He said, I love these people. I love them. Lazarus is sick. Let's just hang out for 2 more days. That don't seem right, does it? Lord, the one you love is sick. I love that woman. I love her sister and Lazarus. He the bomb. He my best friend. But we ain't going. Let's just stay here. Somebody look at somebody around you and go, I don't think that's right. Look at somebody else and say, I don't think that's right. Are y'all ready? Second greatest thing you need to hear at this conference. Are you ready? Are you going to believe him on his timing or your timing? Because if you believe in your timing, a lot of this stuff ain't going to look right. But when you believe God and cast all your cares upon him, for he cares for you, his timing, it's going to be all good. You're just along for the ride. I'm just along for the ride. Y'all ain't getting this, but I'm going to preach to myself because I really like this, all right? Here it is, verse 7. And then he said to his disciples, let us go to Judah, verse 8. But Rabbi, they said, a short while ago, the Jews, they tried to stone you, and yet you're going back. Verse 9, Jesus answered, are there not 12 hours in daylight? Anyone who walks in daylight will not stumble, for they can see by the lights of the world. Verse 10, it is when you a person walk at night that they stumble, because they have no light. After he had said this, he went to all them. Our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I am going there to wake him up. Y'all got it? So he says all this stuff about walking while it's light, walk in the night, you fall down, you walk in the light, you fall down, walk in the night, you just stumble and fall, you walk in the light of the world. But who created the light of the world? Who created the sun, the moon, and the stars? So if you have Jesus, can you walk at night? Dude, there's so much in this story, more than just a brother being raised to life from the dead. But the reason why he's raised to life from the dead is because of everything else that surrounds the story. I just decided in our little workshop to unfold that to you. Now, I see some of y'all going to sleep. Go ahead. Close your eyes. Fall asleep. Because this ain't for everybody. But if you're here during the day, you know what's going on, and you need to decide, man, my sleepiness ain't got nothing on what that brother's saying to me, because it ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying. It's who Jesus is and what he wants to do in your life. See, there's dead things in you that want to be brought to life again. There's something in you that's got to live so that you can fulfill the promise God has in your life. And that's what we're talking about. Oh, by the way, this isn't a dead man in a tomb. It's your dream that's in the tomb. And if you realize what Jesus did to Lazarus is your future. Lazarus is the reason you were born. Lazarus is your purpose in life. Lazarus is your destiny. Lazarus, you know what dreams are? Dreams are a baby waiting to be birthed. But some of you have let the world abort your child. And you're so willing to picket real abortions, and your dream has already been pulled out. That was good. Somebody on God TV is going to get that. Not y'all. So let's go on. I'm going to read 11 again. After he said this, he said to them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm going there to wake him up. Verse 12, his disciples replied, Lord, if he sleeps, he will get better. Isn't that funny? Sometimes you take a nap, your headache goes away. These brothers are stupid. Verse 13. Jesus had been speaking of his death, but the disciples thought he meant natural sleep. Verse 14. So when he told them plainly, Lazarus is dead. See, sometimes you just got to be frank. Sometimes you just got to say it the way it is. Sometimes you got to look at people and say, hey, you're dead, all right? You're dead and you nasty, all right? Sometimes you just got to be straight up honest, all right? Right here, he wanted to be nice. Jesus tried to be politically correct, okay? He says, our brother Lazarus is asleep, but I'm going to wake him up. They go, if he's sleeping, he'll get better. He dead, you moron. So he said to them plainly, Lazarus is dead, and for your sake, everybody say your sake. Say your sake. I am glad I was not there so that you may believe, and let us go to him. Let us go to him. And listen, you know what's cool? He's talking about the disciples that know him. They've seen him make a blind man see. They've seen him make a lame people walk, and they still didn't believe. Some of you have grown up, you've gone to, I've been to 7 audacious's, and you're still going to hell. What's wrong with you? Because you dead. I'm just saying. Not after this week. They didn't just bring me back because I'm good looking and got a great tan. Y'all about to find out why they brought me. Look at verse 16. I love Thomas. I love Thomas. If you grew up in church and you know stuff about the Bible, you know that Thomas is called Doubting Thomas. Doubting Thomas. Doubting Thomas. Brother makes one mistake and he's known for it for his whole life, all right? A brother at one time gets a little scared and decides, I don't believe him. I don't believe Jesus rose from the dead. And he's known for that his whole life. Why can't he be known for what he did in John chapter 11? Because they're like, they tried to stone you last time we went there. If we go back, they're going to kill you. That's what all the other ones said. You know what Thomas said? Look at verse 16. Then Thomas, also known as Didymus, said to the rest of the disciples, let us also go, that we may die with them. That brother like a 3 musketeer right there. All for one and one for all. Let's die together. Cut my head off. Oh, by the way, Thomas eventually would die for Jesus. All he's doing is speaking about his future. Y'all ain't. I'm glad I'm preaching because I'm enjoying myself. Verse 17. Y'all okay? Are y'all with me? Look at verse 17. On his arrival, Jesus found Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Stop right there. Let's go to McDonald's. This game's over. Isn't that awesome? On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Everybody say 4 days. Now Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them on the loss of their brother. When Martha heard Jesus was coming, She went out to meet him, but Mary stayed at home. There are two sisters here. These two sisters represent two people. There's two types of people in the world. One, you got your Marthas, and two, you got your Marys. Here's your Marthas. They're going to believe no matter what. They've been through something that when Jesus came in their life, they said, I've been in hell and back, and I'm sticking this brother out with Jesus because he's going to take care of me. Two, there's people who haven't been through so much. And so when bad things happen, they want to pout a little and then go to Jesus. Eventually, they're going to go to Jesus, but they're going to sit back and go, I don't care. Jesus, it should have been here 4 days ago. Those are the Marys. Which one are you? Oh, you had a little friend tweet something about you because you didn't go to party. You went to church instead. Oh, poor baby. So you're like, Jesus left me because you didn't get to go to a party, but you went to church. You better shut up. Seriously. When the day you realize the world doesn't revolve around you, but you were put into the world to help it revolve, period, is the day that you realize you could do something great for Jesus. You got to quit with your own agenda and start looking at his. Touch your neighbor and say, quit being a baby and get up. See, there's some things I would say, but this is God TV, and I can't say it the way I normally would say it. But I'm just going to be nice, all right? So check this out. So there one's a Martha, one's a Mary, all right? So let's go on, all right? Verse 21. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Oh, that's cool. You know what I like about Marthas too? They tell the truth. Mary at home trying to figure out, when I do see Jesus, how will I say it? Oh, Lord, I love you. You're the greatest. Martha just went to him and said, he dead. My brother's dead. Which one are you? Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. Verse 22, but I know that even now God will give you whatever you ask. Hello? Hello? Are y'all ready? Look at that verse, because that's the key right there. You see, somebody has to speak the invisible into visible. Somebody has to speak the invisible. Old people can't do this because they too set in their ways, all right? It takes somebody who's willing no matter what. It's not my timing, it's his timing. Jesus is here. He's here. Who cares he's been dead 4 days? I understand that, but God will give you whatever you want. She spoke resurrection into being. A woman did that. Okay, I got more people with me now than I did about 5 minutes ago, so I'm going to keep preaching, all right? I'm going to read you that one again, all right? Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now, God will give you whatever you ask. And look what Jesus says. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. She spoke it so he could do it now. Oh, y'all don't understand. Oh, wait, he's God's only son. He knew what he was going to do. Yeah, he did. He knew exactly what he was going to do. But guess what? He also knew what she was going to say. But you know what? She had to put herself into the words. See, God knows what he's going to do. Okay, look, I'm going to take you to a whole new realm. Are you ready for this? There's the story. Your life is a story. Your life is a song. Take a pick, whatever you want it to be, all right? Who's writing your song? If you're writing your own song, that's fine. It'll probably be okay. If God writes it, it's a bestseller. You write your song, you might end up happy at the end. If God writes it, everybody happy at the end. You write your song, you might fall in love. Ooh, you might even, oh yeah, it might be really good. But when God writes it, it's perfect. Not the second, third, or fourth time. But you got to give me the pen. What Martha just did was give Jesus the pen. She said, I know he's dead, but even now, you could do whatever you want, man. That's like a coach looking at a player going, we're down by 50, but we still got 2 quarters. Let's do this. Hello? I watched a game in America. They have this thing called gridiron or American football. It was the state championship in Texas. It was on live on television because Texas is big. These 2 schools were playing. One school was up 48-0 at halftime. All the announcers, it's over, 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 it's over. Everybody go get dinner. Come back and see this later. Literally, the stands emptied out. I mean, gone. People left at halftime. 48-0. They put the spanking of a lifetime on these kids. But somebody in one of the locker rooms messed up, and somebody in another locker room did something right. They say that the coach in the locker room of the team ahead, 48-0, walked in and said, all right, everybody be prepared to play because we're putting everybody in. Cool. So the guys who were starting were like, we're over. Give me the ring. We're state champions. In the other locker room, the coach walked in and says, I've given you everything I have. I've taught you everything I know. And guess what? All I know is this. There's 2 quarters left. If they can score 48 and a half, we can score 50 in the next half. And they did it. By the 4th quarter, with 12 seconds to go, that team that was losing by 48 was losing by 3 with 1 second left. The team winning kicked off. The guy caught it. The clock's at 0. All the one team had to do was tackle that boy. All the boy had to do was run 100 yards without hitting the ground and get 6 points and win by 3 and make history. He went left and right and ran down the sideline. No one even touched him. When he scored, the announcer for the team that was winning, that lost, he screamed for the whole world to hear, I think I'm going to be sick. And the announcer for the winning team simply said, it's over. That's your life. That's your life. At the end of it, you're either going to look up and go, I think I'm going to be sick. Or Jesus is going to look at you and say, it's over. That was good right there. I'm just saying, I'm just going to preach my sermon and go eat. Are y'all ready? Your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Stop. That girl set herself up to be the hero. Then she says something stupid. She goes, whatever you want, God will give you. Your brother will rise again. I know he will in the resurrection at the last day. You know what she did? She told Jesus what she thought he wanted to hear. Listen to me. Jesus don't need you to tell him what he think he's going to hear. He's Jesus. He knows what he's going to hear. He wants to tell you what you need to know. Dude, hey, this is what religion does sometimes. You get just enough of knowing God that you think you could tell God what he's going to do. And that's when you miss a miracle. Y'all need to realize God has a dream for you. And maybe it's time for that baby to be birthed today. And this is how we're going to do it. Are y'all ready? I love it. When she said, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day, Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection. That's like Superman actually telling you who he really is. That's like Lois Lane going, we need Superman. And Clark Kent going, I am Superman. Oh, that's cool, man. Y'all got it now, didn't you? Y'all didn't get it a while ago. Now you got it. He's like, I am the resurrection and the life. And whoever believes in me, he will live even though they die. And whoever lives believing in me will never die. Did y'all get that? Did y'all get that? In other words, see, death is that big unknown. You know what I'm saying? Death is that. I watched a TV show the other night, and this guy goes, my car swerved off the road, and I hit the water, and I was thinking, I can't get out. My seatbelt was locked. I couldn't get out. All of a sudden, I saw a bright light. I'm like, Another person said, I laid in my bed that night. All of a sudden, my chest hurt. I just closed my eyes, and I saw a bright light. Another guy says, there was this bright light. Another woman said, there's a bright light. I'm like, oh, no, snap. If I ever go to sleep and see a bright light, I'm running another way. There's a bright light. There's a bright light. There's a bright light. It's the big unknown. What happens after you die? Do you come back as a cow? Look, if you come back as a cow, you do not want to live in my country or yours. Check this out. Here's my deal. Okay, are y'all with me? Say yeah. If you're really with me, say, oh, yeah. I got to lay down the groundwork because when we get there, it's going to be really cool. And when it's really cool, you'll get it. And then somebody's going to jump up and just start clapping because somebody's going to get it. And when you get it, you got it. And when you got it, it's good. Let me break that down. Get it, got it, good. Okay. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. And one who believes in me lives even though they die. And whoever lives, believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? And she said, yes, I believe. Everybody say yes. Yes. Say it again. Yes. Say it again. Yes. Say it one more time. Yes. I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is coming to the world. That's awesome, girl. She just did it. Everybody say, good job, girl. After she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, she said, and he's asking for you. Verse 29. When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. Verse 31. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house, comforting her, noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supporting her. I like that. She was going to the tomb to mourn. They supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn. Now, can I say something about people who watch you? Sometimes people who are with you aren't your friends. Sometimes people who are with you just want to be a part of the crowd. They see you crying, they'll cry with you. Are they sad for you? Probably not. They probably crying about something that they're going through. They just want the public to know that they're going through something. That was another deep part that nobody got, but that's okay. Somebody on God TV is getting this, and it's for you. Be careful who you let inside your circle, because not everybody your friend. That's going to come up in another story. You'll understand that later on, like tonight. All right, verse 32. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come alongside her weeping, he was deeply moved in his spirit and troubled. Everybody say troubled. Stop right there. Say troubled. Now, when she's crying, why would Jesus be troubled? She didn't trouble him. The crowd that she was with troubled him. Let me back it up a little bit. When he saw the crowd, that came with her weeping, he was deeply troubled. In other words, he's like, oh, that's my girl. Because you remember, he already said he loved Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Now he's going, Martha came to me. Why didn't Mary? Because she was with another crowd. Verse 34. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. Verse 35. Jesus wept. Then the Jews said, see how he loved him? But some of them said, could not he who opened the eyes of the blind have kept this man from dying? Oh, hello. Hey, can I ask you a question? Who do you think the crowd was that said that part? Because it says Martha got up and went, but Mary brought the crowd with her. So when Martha was with Jesus, nobody was saying nothing in the background. But when Mary showed up with her friends, when Mary showed up with her people, Jesus had to weep. Are your friends making Jesus weep over you? Don't even, y'all just let that go. That's just a prerequisite of something to come. I'm just saying, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Show me your friends, I'll show you how you're going to die. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Verse 38. Jesus, once more deeply moved, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone laid across the entrance. Take away the stone, he said. But Lord, Martha said, by this time there's a bad odor. I like the way she said that. That's really nice. In another version of the Bible, she said this, but Lord, he stinketh. Let me break that down for you. Stinketh. Let me say that one more time. Stinketh. Some of you boys wear the same pair of socks for 3 days in a row. Your socks stink. Some of you don't shower but once a week. If you shower on Saturday, by Thursday, you stink. Some of you go to the bathroom, and when you leave, stink. But baby, you ain't never smelled nothing like stinketh. Stinketh puts a whole new spin on the whole thing. A skunk stinks. A dead person stinks. But stinketh is a whole new realm of stink. Man, stinketh, when that comes in, it makes you eat the smell. It chokes you. It will come down, shake your tonsils, and make you puke what you had yesterday. That is stinketh. Nobody wants stinketh. Now you learned something you didn't know. But he stinketh. He's been there 4 days. Whew. That's a long time to be there. 4 days. 4 days. Then Jesus said, did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? Verse 41. So they took away the stone. Jesus looked up and said, okay, look at the prayer. Look at the prayer. Everybody touch your neighbor. Hit him. Say, look at the prayer. Hit your other neighbor and say, look at the prayer. Jesus looked up and said, Father, I thank you that you've heard me. I knew that you always hear me. But I said this for the benefit of the people standing here, that they may believe that you sent me. So everything happened so that the people standing there can believe that Jesus is the Son of God. Lazarus died. One sister believed. One sister doubted. All this happened so that people can believe. Touch your neighbor and say, it all happened so somebody can believe. We put so many small things on people responding to an altar call when that's the greatest miracle of them all, is someone giving their life to Jesus Christ. Pastor Russell Evans just told me he got a phone call that one of his staff members led a 90-something-year-old man to Jesus Christ. That's awesome. Because when you're in your 90s and finally choose Jesus, it's one of those happy, sad things. You happy you didn't die and figure that out later. But you're sad that you had to get to 90 before somebody led you to Jesus. Nobody should live that long without Jesus. Nobody. Touch your neighbor and say, not you. And can I say something? If you leave this conference and you still have sin in your life, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you, and you stinketh. Y'all ready? Verse 43. When he had said this, Jesus called out in a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. Ooh, I like that. And the dead man came out, verse 44. Everybody say the dead man came out. Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. You think that would be the end of the story? Oh, no. Check this out. The dead man came out, his hands and his feet wrapped and clothed around his face. Jesus said to them, take off the grave clothes and let him go. Look at verse 45. Therefore, many of the Jews who had come to visit Mary and had seen what Jesus did believed in him. But some of them, everybody say, but some of them. Say it again. Say it again. One more time. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. And then the chief priests and the Pharisees called a meeting in the Sanhedrin. What are we accomplishing? They said. Here is a man performing many signs. If we let him go like this, everyone will believe in him. Watch this. And then the Romans will come and take away both our temple and our nation. So many people preach this and they stop with Lazarus coming out of the tomb. And they don't realize, oh, y'all ready? Okay, hit your neighbor, hit him, shake him, wake him up. This is something you got to understand. Everybody say, Jesus wept. One more time. One more time. One more time. A lot of you think he wept because Mary and Martha and the belief and the not belief and the people in the crowd who came with Mary, all that stuff. But you know what I think? I think he wept because he saw his future in the resurrection of Lazarus. Because guess what? When this happened and Lazarus came out, guess what? They decided that day to kill Jesus. That's when the plot became real. That's when it all came in. It was a miracle that set up the death of Jesus Christ. If Lazarus had stayed dead, they never would have killed him. And we would never be free. I'm going to say it again. Some's got to die for something to live. Some's got to die for something to live. Something's got to die for something to live. Now, that was good. We're going to come back to that this week, all right? Are y'all okay? Are y'all okay? Now, let me tell you what this story is really all about. Lazarus is your dream. Lazarus is your future. Lazarus is that baby, that dream that's been birthed inside of you. Look at me. Everybody has a dream inside of them. One, the devil wants to steal your dream. A lot of us, he uses our past, the things we went through, the horrible situations. How many of you today is the first time you ever heard me speak? First time. Cool. Awesome. How you guys doing? Nice to meet you. My name's Reggie. My mom's a prostitute. She slept with a man for 20 bucks. I'm going to resolve a $20 bill. Don't know my mom. Don't know my dad. All of that. I was given away. I was told that my mom kept my brother and my twin sisters, and they lived happily ever after. But guess what? God put a baby inside me. It's my dream. It's my love. And he told me that if I just believed in him, no matter what my past was, no matter what had to die in my life, that I could do something. I could become something. And today I'm telling you, there's a baby in you. And that baby got to live. Look at your neighbor and say, the baby's got to live. Look at your other neighbor and say, the baby's got to live. There are 3 things that will kill the baby called your dream, your destiny, your future. Number 1, it's you. All we got to do is look at Jesus. The Bible even says, and I read it, Jesus knew what he was going to do. When he got the note, Lord, the one you love is sick. In his mind, he went, oh, he's going to be dead 4 days, but we're going to go and raise him from the dead. He knew that dream. Everybody say, I have a dream. But the person that can kill that dream is you. Number 2, others can kill the dream inside of you. Others can kill that dream that's inside of you. What did the disciples tell Jesus? After Lazarus had died, he goes, we're going to go wake up Lazarus. He goes, you can't go back there. They tried to stone you last time. They're going to kill you. If he'd listened to them, he never would have died for the sin of the world. Others, even though they mean well, they will kill your dream. They'll kill your dream. If you believe in Jesus, you got to live for him. When it comes to serving Jesus, you've got to decide right here. You know you got to have a determination inside you. My dream is going to live. My life is going to have purpose and meaning because I'm not going to let others kill it. Number 1, you can kill the baby, the dream inside of you. Others can kill it. And you know what the third one is? Words. Words. Everybody said, he's dead. He's dead. He's dead. Jesus said, oh, he's sleeping. The world, it's dead. It's dead. Oh, he's sleeping. We're going to go wake him up. When the world sees dead, Jesus just sees a nap. When the world sees lost, Jesus sees found. When the world gives up, Jesus gives in. Are y'all listening to me? Are you hearing what I'm saying? I'm starting to sweat. If you ever see a black preacher don't sweat, he ain't black. Now listen to me very close because this is the big part right here. Are you ready? Touch your neighbor and say, here it is. Touch your other neighbor and say, this is for you. I said that your dream is a baby. It's going to be birthed inside you. You see, there's things trying to abort the baby that's inside of you. The devil don't want you to follow your dream. The devil don't want you to become who he wants you to be. He don't want you to give him the pen of your life and have him write a love ballad that will make everybody cry or write a story that will make everybody change. The devil don't want that. So he sends things to get in your life, to corrupt you, to make you messed up, to make you believe, I can't do this. It's for them and not me. It's for they, but not I. It's all this stuff. But here's what I'm here to tell you. Are you ready? Here's the point. Touch your neighbor again and say, he's getting it. Touch your other neighbor and say, here it is. Let the baby live. Let the dream live. Look at me, look at me. Some of you, here's the point. You ready? If Jesus was looking for the approval of men, he never would have raised Lazarus from the dead, and he never would have went to the cross. Some of you are wanting people to say, oh, great job. Oh, good, son. I could care less. You tell me if I preach good. I'm not preaching for you. I'm preaching for him. You can put it on God TV or no one ever sees it again. I know what my plan is. I know the dream he has for me. Do you? Do you? The one thing that's going to kill your dream is you can't stand and clap when a preacher's doing good because you're too worried about what other people are going to say. Your dream's already dead because you're living for yourself. Your hope's already gone. If you can't stand and clap in a church, you expect God to let your dream come true? Why would he? They've already killed the baby before it was even born. Your dream is dead before it even comes out. Your dream will never be born. What are you doing? Look at your life right now. Look at it. Look at everything that you do. Do you live for a boss to say, good job, Wade? Woo, you did good. Do you live for a boy or girl to say, you're awesome? Are you living for the day that Jesus says, well done, thou good and faithful servant? What's making your baby live? I know this is different. I know it is. And I did it on purpose because I knew that I wouldn't have 11 to 14-year-olds here. And I knew the old people would be gone. I knew I would have you because guess what? Tomorrow's dreams are in this room today. It ain't born yet, but it will be. Some of you need to hold on to it. Some of you need right now. Your mind is starting to go, man. Some of you are starting to think of things no one's ever thought of. What if somebody invented this? God put that baby in you. Let it live. You gotta let it live. What's your dream right now? Come on, put a bubble around you right now. Forget your past, forget your mom, your dad, forget all the people around you. Just forget them. What's your dream? What's your dream? What do you want? What do you want to be lived? What do you want to be birthed? What do you want to come out of you? What do you want to change the world? What do you want to change life? What do you want to change the future? What do you want to change Great Britain? What do you want to change the world? It's got to dream it. And then you got to change. I prayed that now that you have your dream in your head, that God will show you the friends that are trying to kill it. Don't hate your friends. They just don't know. They don't know who you are yet. They just don't know. They don't know what you were born for yet. But you'll get emails if you hold on to this. Years down the road, 15 years from now, hey, we went to school together. I see what you're doing now. I watch you on YouTube. And you're awesome. Can you pray for me? See, something's got to die for something to live. A woman has to go through incredible body changes for a baby to be birthed. I ain't going to start to try to tell you what labor pain's like. I don't have a clue. But it really doesn't look good. But what I do know is when it's over, every woman forgets the pain and the sorrow and the hurt and the push and all that because the prizes they're holding in their hand. Your dream is your prize today. Be the greatest doctor ever made. Invent the coolest video games ever. Become the greatest singer in the world. Can I tell you something? A lot of you think you have to try out for the part. Like somebody trying to be the next X Factor winner. Hey, the auditions are over. You win. Because God called you. He's the judge, and he put you. Well, how do you know I win? How do you know I win? You're here, aren't you? You're here right now, aren't you? You see, my whole thing is this. There's a purpose for your life. Everybody say this. Let the baby live. Let the dream come true. What's your dream today? What do you want? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Hey, look, here's what my youth pastor did, and I'm going to challenge you to do this because I'm done, and I'm going to challenge you to do this. You got your Bible, you got your notes, you got your notepad. Grab a piece of paper. Everybody grab a piece of paper. I don't know if you got to get it from a friend or whatever. Just get a piece of paper. All right? Now, look, with this piece of paper, we're going to go through something we're going to have with class time. If you're at home watching on God TV, grab a piece of paper real fast. We're just going to do this. We're just going to do this. I don't even know if this is on God TV. I don't know if they do day sessions. If they do, this was a good one. I felt like I was preaching to myself, man. You know why I'm preaching to myself? Because I'm a $20 bill. So I'm not preaching from I want a dream. I am the dream. Are y'all listening to me? This is why some of you are like, dude, you're a really good speaker. How many would just wave at me and say, he's a really good speaker, you know? I'm not speaking on my ability. I'm speaking on my past. Y'all didn't get it. That was for you. On your couch, in your boxers. Please put some pants on. Thank you. All right. Number one. In 5 years, I will finish the sentence. If you're in year 9, what are you, 14? 19. When you're 19 years old, I will. Put it down. Just one sentence. You got 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Now write down. Ready? In 15 years, I will have. Write it down. Go. You got 20 seconds. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, done. Now some of you are going, I need more time. No, you don't. Because if you've been living this thing the way God has, you already know what you want to do. Some of you just trying to figure out how to word it. Some of you just have never had anybody have you put it down on paper. Are you ready for this one? Last one. When I die, my tombstone will say 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, done. You know what my tombstone's going to say? Heaven's hero, hell's worst nightmare. I like that. Oh, by the way, when you dream big, the fight's big. God bless you. Have a great day.